outdoors. Fiserv Forum in downtown Milwaukee has not been kind to the visitors when the Houston Rockets have visited Milwaukee, Wisconsin over the years. In fact, 6 straight losses going into this one today. But a different story in the fourth quarter as the Rockets beat the Bucks 122-115. Fun Can't Lose is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and Calvin Murphy, best win of the season for your Houston Rockets as they wrap up this road trip with the victory. Down 4 with less than 3.5 minutes to play, and that's when the Rockets went to work as they scored often down that stretch. Kevin Durant, really the catalyst, and it starts with an and one right there, kind of get the Rockets going down the stretch.
Well, if you want to find out who was the MVP of this game, just look at the starting 5 plus Sheppard. When you start, everybody had a piece of this pie. Somebody came up with a big play at the right moment, be it a jump shot, a defensive play, a good rebound. They did a really nice job the second half on rebounding and getting out in some transition baskets.
Yeah, defensively, they did the work as well. Giannis Antetokounmpo called for basket interference, the offensive goaltend, wipe off the basket, and then the Rockets down at the other end. Needed a big hoop at the right time. Kevin Durant drawing the defense in, finding the open man. Right wing jumper, the 3 good for Jabari Smith Jr. Rockets go up 113-111, and then Kevin Durant again going to work, pulling the defense away. The little fadeaway, that's a layup for Kevin Durant, the way he was playing in that second half. And Giannis Antetokounmpo missed 6 of his last 8 free throws in this game. Certainly helped the Rockets out in a big way. This with just under 90 seconds left. Rockets getting the rebound, going to the other end, and getting work done at the other end once again.
You know, what did I say when Kevin Durant came to the Rockets, Kevin? If you remember, I said in the last 4 minutes, give him the ball and get out of his way.
Or you could do the same for Alperen Şengün, get him the ball and get him out of the way. But first, you got to get a stop on the defensive end. They double, then they get the help, jump into the passing lane, and then Giannis at the free throw line once again. That one, back iron, no good. Here you go. Here's your point center right here, Murph.
Well, first of all, when you got a point center coming down, going between his legs behind his back, and taking their star center out of play, and then going to spin to the basket, what else can he do?
And that's Miles Turner, too. That's not just anybody he's taking down off the block, getting up in the air, drawing the foul. First of all, with Giannis, goes behind his back, then reverses. Giannis says, okay, I had enough. I tried. Here you go. You take him. And Miles Turner can't.
But Kevin, let me go back. This obviously was a major play in the game. But let me go back to the foul shots that were missed by Giannis. That was major for this victory for the Rockets. If you go back and look at his foul shot, and this is for the youngsters to know, never did he move his feet, didn't go up on his toes. He shot everything from his waist up. And as you know, Kevin, we talked about it so many times, when you're shooting a foul shot, it's legs, body, stroke. He panicked on those last 6 foul shots and tried to just use his arms, which was to the betterment of the Rockets, which they were able to, of course, come up with the big rebound. And was able to score from that position.
Yeah, you saw the graphic right there, 22-7 run to close it out. Take it a step further. The Rockets with 5 minutes and 12 seconds left in this game, they were down 106-99. They close it out to take it one step further. 23-9 is 15 of 21 shooting in the fourth quarter. Rockets shoot 71%
in the fourth.
In the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter on the road, too, against the team.
Milwaukee, where they lost the last 6 games in that building.
They also scored 72 points in the second half and outscored Milwaukee 72-54 in the second half. It's time now for us to hear from head coach Ime Udoka.
Go ahead. Coach, what did you think of the Rockets' composure in that final couple couple minutes to get the comeback win?
Yeah, I think we defended at a high level. They came out strong in the start of the fourth, but kind of held them in check last 3 or 4 minutes. And then offensively, we got to the spots that we wanted. The shots were the guys we wanted. Spacing was good. And then when we didn't get it, offensive rebounds were really good in the second half. But night and day difference from the first half, turnovers 12 to only 6 in the second half. That was a huge emphasis going into the second half.
How important was Alpe's physicality down the stretch?
That was great on both ends. He guarded Giannis one-on-one pretty much. They tried to set some screens, and he beat him to the spot underneath. Made it tough on him, wore on him a little bit, and then offensively going back at him. Obviously, the big three-point play late where he handled the ball and was under control, threw some pressure. But I think him and KD really played well off each other, found the matchup that they each liked, and obviously he came through big in the fourth quarter throughout.
Reed worked a lot on his defense this summer. He said there were a lot of workouts where he wouldn't even touch a ball for the first 45 minutes. Days like today, when you see the defensive impact, what have you seen from Reed?
Yeah, he's getting more comfortable and confident. Teams are trying to go after him at times and holding up a little bit more, and then just recognizing some of the coverages that we're putting him in. So he's a guy that has to come in and impact the game on both ends. And when teams, try to take advantage of him there, I think he's quick to recognize who to help off of, who to crowd, and even bigger guys were asking him to kind of shoulder the load a little bit there and switch on to some bigger matchups. And so first time he got in, got driven once, but other than that, I think he was really steady. Obviously, he got great hands and got a lot of balls that led to transition baskets.
Just how much does Steven Adams mean to you guys?
Yeah, he's huge. I mean, when you see our 20 offensive rebounds, he has 5 of those, but it's nothing that's always going to show on the stat sheet. It's the impact that he has. He frees up for everybody else. One of our best screen setters, most cerebral guys, and just kind of has a calming presence out there. So whether we're in man or in zone, his communication is always on point. And, 5 offensive rebounds seems like a big number. It's kind of the average for him, but he frees up everybody else to kind of get loose and get going.
You mentioned the 20 offensive rebounds. That's obviously a theme with you guys, but I guess how much do you think that physicality just kind of wears on teams throughout games?
Yeah, I mean it's tough to defend certain guys, and then you're guarding the majority of the shot clock, and then you give up one, and a lot of times those lead to kick out threes or easy putbacks, and kind of demoralizing a little bit. And so we understand what our strengths are, and teams are going to try to combat that. So Steven, like I said, he takes up 2 or 3 guys most of the time, and it's free lanes for other guys to clean up, and that's been one of our mantras. Last year we were number 1, and we want to increase those numbers this year.
Coach, how did you guys adjust from the turnovers from the first quarter, and what did you guys talk about in the locker room in the half?
Yeah, we showed at half just penetrating 1 or 2 too many dribbles. Keep it simple. When the double teams come, we know that's happening a lot lately, and just have to be strong with the ball, especially after the last game. So it was a little disappointing to have 12 for 21 points in the first half. And we knew if we were going to give ourselves a chance in this game, it was going to be taking care of the ball. And so a conscious effort for guys to make the simple play. And we only had 6 in the second half, 3 each quarter. And so cleaned that up, gave ourselves a chance. And then, like I said, if we're getting shots up and getting these offensive rebounds, we kind of wear on teams. And so it's a big emphasis for us all year to take care of the ball.
Given that Alperen and Giannis are 2 of the best European players in the league right now, and they met at Eurobasket this summer, did you get the feeling that for Alpe it fired him up even more for this matchup tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think, there's a pride over there in those competitions that they've seen each other for a lot of years. Alpe tries to go at everybody every night, and, so I don't think that's anything out of the ordinary for him. But the fact that they have familiarity with each other and have played each other quite a bit, I think anytime you see the matchups with Doncic and those guys, it's a little more extra to it. And but at the same time, they're just 2 of the best players on every team going at it. And so he takes pride in that, wanted to guard him down the stretch, and did a good job on both ends.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
It's early in the season, but you may want to remember this one. Rockets come up big in the fourth quarter, big in the second half, and come from behind. They beat the Milwaukee Bucks on the road, 122-115. Time now for our Kia player profile, and Kevin Durant came here to close out games. He closed this one out tonight. Finishes with 31 points, Murph, but 22 of his 31 coming in the second half, and he did it on 11 of 15 shooting.
What did I say was needed in the second half? at halftime to get Kevin involved in the offense. I didn't know he was going to take over the offense. I just said get him involved.
Yeah, he took 5 shots in the first
half.
Yeah.
Right. He was 4 for 5 in the first half and took over the game in the second half. But what they simply did was they got the ball in his hands most of the time at the top of the key, and they spread out. They allowed him to play a lot of one-on-one. And, defensively, they were afraid to come over and support because they moved the ball so well.
Yeah, that shot right there to kind of close it out. Look how much the defense has to pay attention. That's 3 guys having to step out on Kevin Durant, still able to knock down the shot, but obviously there's some open players as well. Amen Thompson finishes this one with 14 points, and he does so on 6 of 13 shooting. We talked about Alperen, Şengün, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr. with that huge 3.
Yeah, big 3, right.
To give the Rockets the lead, a lead that they pretty much were able to hold on to for the rest of the game.
But if so often you hear me talk about that one extra pass. If you have that one extra pass, you go from a good shot to a great shot. And that's how he was able to get that look. They took one more pass. They bypassed one decent shot to give him a great shot with nobody in his face. He was able to get his legs underneath him, and that was a big, big, big play at that particular time.
Yeah, Rockets went from down 7 with 5:12 to play in this game to winning it by 7, 122 to 115. Guys with the best seat in the house join us now as we head back out and check in with Craig and Ryan. Guys.
All right, Kevin, appreciate it. Rockets come home with 2 wins in their 3 games here on this road trip. Wins in Memphis and Milwaukee, a loss in San Antonio. But the Rockets back in the win column here this afternoon, and they were a much different team at both ends of the floor in the second half. 72 second half points. They only missed 6 of their 21 shots in the fourth quarter. They limited the turnovers in the second half. They limited the damage off of those turnovers. They dominated the Bucks on the glass, and this was a fun come-from-behind win for the Houston Rockets.
It was, and here's the gold. When you have one of the greatest closers to ever play the game, you just hang around and give yourself a chance. And the game came down to, at the end of it, Kevin Durant hitting big shots. He ends up with 31 points on the night and hit some tough contested shots. Had a nice little short roll pass to Alperen. Hit Steven Adams down the stretch. He really focused in on not turning the basketball over. I thought that was somewhere where he was a little sloppy in San Antonio. And then at the end of the day, Antetokounmpo misses what? He goes 1 for 3 from the free throw line, and that changed the ball game.
Actually, 1 of 4. Yeah, missed the first 2, then 1 for 2 on that second trip, and that certainly helped. Reed Sheppard's play helped out this victory. Kevin Durant gave, when he was talking with Vanessa, gave Reed Sheppard the credit for this win with this defense, that big 3, that sequence there. And Reed, we talked about him, Vanessa talked about him in the open, played well in San Antonio, helped calm things down when the Rockets were going through some pretty major turnover issues. Second consecutive game where he scored 16 points. But it was his 2-way game here this afternoon. The 4 steals, the big block shot. Reed Sheppard was huge this afternoon. Rockets don't win this game without him.
Yeah, man, he was great, and defensively turning defense into offense. We talked about that earlier in the game. That's where Houston's at their best, when they get steals, get out and get those early looks. That kind of spurs the offense going, gets them going when they're in a bit of a rut. And I played for Doc, so one of the things is the tighter the game gets for Doc, he likes to execute. And Reed did a good job of saying, oh, they're trying to run the play, get it from side to side. Let me go blow that play up. That's something that Fred VanVleet was really great at doing, and those steals made things happen, and then the ball came back to him, and he's just been letting the ball rip. You think last season there are moments where Reed would get the ball and there's that hesitation, do I shoot, do I not? He's letting it fire this season, and again, the more you stay confident, the more you're aggressive, that timing's going to settle down. He's going to hit shots. The kid can shoot it.
Yeah, he was fantastic. 4 of 6 from 3, the 16 points. The block, the 4 steals, fantastic. Great play, by the way, by Şengün, spinning around, and Turner after losing Giannis not once but twice. Good win here this afternoon for the Rockets. A couple more days off, and they actually come home for a homestand after playing a lot here on the road. So Houston back in the win column. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you back out at Toyota Center, or for those of you who can't make it, joining us here on Space City Home Network when the Rockets take on the Wizards. And so till then, we'll say good afternoon or early evening here from Milwaukee. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you very much. Rockets now 4-1 on the road this season and come home for a nice homestand. We come back, we will hear from Kevin Durant, who paced the Rockets with 31.